Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. Bonjour, bonsoir, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be. Jay Slater case. It is Tuesday, May 12th, and this is the delayed Monday Gossip Corner. Cap round backwards with a plain white background means we talk about someone in the accident group that needs to be exposed, commented upon, and highlighted usually as a charlatan and a fool, and I don't think we will make an exception today because I want to look at Peter Pennington. Peter Pennington, father of Pumpkin, Chris Pennington, of course, and someone who has really dived in with commentary aplenty on the Jay Slater case when I would have thought it would be rather wise to be quiet about it. Just to remind you, Peter Pennington has never once ever tried to explain why his son was so bullying and harassing and nasty on social media when the likes of Francesca and Danielle and others were talking in lives. And Bully Boy Chris, the son of Peter Pennington, was in there demanding the audio. Send me this, Francesca and Danielle. How many people were in the car that went up to Masca? Peter Pennington has never sought to comment on that and to try to explain what the hell his bully boy son was up to in those lives. No, Peter Pennington would rather look at people like me and criticize me and question me when his own son has so many questions that are asked of him and so many answers that could be aired out there. So here we go. One last appeal, Peter Pennington. Why don't you just get your bully boy son to answer some very basic questions instead of looking to commenters like me and saying somehow we're to blame? But anyway, let's look at a specific post that Peter Pennington made on the Lord Lugworm channel just the other day. If I can find it. Now, Peter Pennington says, what's interesting is Peter Pennington's handle is Peter Pennington 007. I guess he's being self-deprecating. I guess he's having a laugh there, but maybe not. Maybe Pedro Pennington really does think of himself as some Bond-like character. I don't know. He does have a sense of humor because his YouTube channel is called Sword of Justice. Not that Peter Pennington has anything in connection with a sword at all. He is not a cutting edge kind of guy. And justice, of course, is nothing to do with the Pennington world. But there we go. Sword of Justice, Peter Pennington 007, says on Luggy's post, brilliant post, Luggy, well done. You will notice that Peter Pennington is the most sycophantic, brown-nosing twat out there, if I can put it that way. Anything that Luggy says, Luggy could write absolute drivel on purpose, and Peter Pennington would love it. Well, actually, that's what does tend to happen every day, isn't it? Luggy writes absolute drivel, and Peter Pennington absolutely loves it. So quite why these two little chums are in bed with each other, if I can put it that way, I don't know. But there seems to be a connection that goes beyond just father of Chris and Luggy. I think maybe these two are the two that have known each other for quite a while. Peter Pennington, who worked, what was it, 28 years for Shell at Ellesmere Port, although he said it was in Chester. So both Luggy and Peter very much in the oil world. Peter goes on, what he has been doing, referring to me, is threatening people that the Slaters didn't know, but with good hearts came forward to help. I think he means the Slaters didn't know these people with good hearts that came forward to help. Well, Peter Pennington didn't come forward to help. What was he talking about? He's talking about his son, who didn't do anything for 2 weeks, didn't go to the funeral, and then showed up bumbling around, falling on his ass, and saying, I'm in the man trap. Yeah, I'm going to the V notch. I don't actually see that, Peter, as help. You certainly didn't help. What were you doing? Walking along the beach in Australia or something? So I'm not sure what your high moral tone here is all about. As for me threatening people, who've I threatened? Threatened with what? If you want to tell me, and Peter, I invite you, get on a call with me, do the Zoom call. Let's go voice to voice. If you're ashamed of your face, if you don't want to see me, then we can do just voice to voice. But let's exchange ideas here if you're that outraged. But you won't. You won't even write me an email. All you do is post this nonsense, throw a grenade, and run away. But no, Peter, you weren't searching anywhere for 2 weeks, and neither was I. And neither, actually, I don't think your son was either. I think he was too busy trying to pretend he was doing that and falling on his ass. All right, where was Duncant, you say? Answer, nowhere. No, actually, I was somewhere, Peter Pennington. But if you really want to know where I was, and you don't know this, Peter, nor does Luggy, nor does anyone else. You don't know where I was when Jay Slater disappeared and when that month-long search was going on. You don't know that. So what we could do here, Peter, is I could answer that question. You might be surprised where I was and what I was doing. But you'd have to ask me. You don't ask me by posting this shite on Luggy's channel. You actually ask me. If you do that, there's a good chance I'll tell you. Now, you say in my case, and I've kept the evidence, he posted multiple times my location when traveling to his lunatic followers. You were traveling to my lunatic followers? Oh, you mean he posted multiple times to his lunatic followers my location when traveling? Okay. Yeah, Peter not great at English either. We can see why he and Luggy are such bummy chummies here. He posted multiple times my location. No, Peter, it's your family that posted your location. I just repeated it. How am I going to know that you are sailing to Singapore and then off to Los Angeles and flying transatlantic to the UK? How am I going to know that? The only way I'm going to know that, Peter, is by watching and looking the absolutely cretinous posts that your ex, D, and your current gal, Kaz, put out there. If they announce to the world that you're all sailing to Singapore, well, I'm going to tell the world, Peter Pennington's sailing to Singapore. What's wrong with that? It's not me giving out your location. It's the people that you know that are right next to you. So here's here's a piece of advice for you, Peter. If you don't like me telling the world your location, why don't you tell Kaz and D to STFU and stop broadcasting this stuff? It's very easy. By the way, my followers aren't lunatic at all. They're very sensible. Okay, then you go on, then posted photo of my mum and brother. I did do that, who both died of cancer on his channel for ridicule. No, they didn't die of cancer on my channel. No one has ever died of anything on my channel, Peter. So we can cut that out. I don't post anything for ridicule, Peter, unless it's been done to me first. So just to let you know, Peter, if I posted something that was about your mum and your brother, number one, I had no idea how they died. How can I know that? But I would have posted something, maybe a photo of your mum, maybe a photo of your brother. Yeah. Why, Peter? Why? This is the question you never ask. Why would I do that? Again, I'm happy to talk to you and explain why I did that. You don't really want to know the why. You just want to whine. You just want to bleat. You just want to go to your bummy chummy Luggy and say, oh, I don't like this man. But the reason I would have done it, Peter, is because someone did it to me. Someone you know, someone you supported, someone you love. And I tell you, Peter, I tell you, when you say, as you have done, the gloves are off, I've told you, Peter, you say the gloves are off, I'm up for it. You do something I don't like, I'm going to do something you don't like 10 times worse. That's how it goes, Peter. But you can always backtrack and say, hey, you know what, Duncan? I might have made a mistake with this, gloves are off. Yeah. But if you don't do that, Peter, photos I find, photos that might be connected to your life, hey, if your loved ones and your friends do it to me, guess what? It's going to happen to you. Simple. You say also tried to ruin people's legitimate business with false and defamatory accusations with no credibility. No, you say with no creditability. You mean credibility. Creditability is something to do with credit. It's something to do with money. Credibility is, your standing. So with no credibility or substance. If they are defamatory accusations, Peter, contact the police that have jurisdiction where I am residing and do something about it. If they're not defamatory, then stop writing it's defamatory. It's not defamatory. And to prove it's not defamatory, I'll say exactly what I said, Peter, once again, here on this video. What I have said is I do not believe, and that is my belief, I do not believe the businesses that your son and you ran are legitimate. That's my belief. And I can tell you exactly why I don't think they're legitimate. I don't know of anyone, and I do know a few people that have worked in real estate. I don't know any of them that have left the oil industry in Ellesmere Port in Cheshire after 28 years of work, gone to a foreign country like Spain, and without knowing any Spanish, just suddenly start up with any previous experience of real estate and be a magical success. I've never known that, and I don't believe it's happened. That's why I don't think your business or your son's business, which you just handed down, is legitimate. I don't think it is. I think it's a front. And I think it's a front for money laundering. Because I think, Peter Pennington, when you got to Tenerife, what was it, 80s, 90s? I think that was the boom of a lot of Russian money and funny money coming into the European Union, and it had to be washed. And I think this is just what I believe, Peter Pennington. I think your so-called legitimate business, what was it, Red Hot Properties? It wasn't real estate. I think it was just a front. Yeah, you got your money from Shell Oil. You started up your business. You didn't have any business contacts there. You didn't know anyone there, as far as I know. You didn't speak Spanish. How the hell are you going to make a living in real estate in Tenerife, huh? You're not. You might have joined. I say might. I don't know, but it fits the profile for me. You might have joined some absolute shyster like, oh, I don't know, Mo Durba, or who's that Goldfinger British guy called? Whatever his name was, it was involved in all the fraud and the timeshare business. Yeah, you might have been involved in that. That's just how I feel. But if you think what I've said is defamatory, Peter, that's my belief, go ahead. Take me to the courts. The world's your oyster. And the last thing you say, please, someone let me know why is his profile still on a sugar babe site, preying on underage girls, allegedly just my opinion. Well, I tell you what, Peter, again, I've explained all this and I'm happy to explain it again. But why is the profile still there? Because on my initial attempt to remove it, I couldn't. And I gave up because it is of no consequence. I haven't been on that site for well over a decade. It doesn't mean anything to me. It means a lot to you, of course, but it doesn't mean anything to me. As I say, I haven't been on that site. I would swear, Peter, that you and your mates have been on a sugar babe site a lot more often than I have in the last 10 years. And that's the truth. But again, Peter, if you really want to talk about this stuff, we can do that at any time, and I would welcome it. What I find strange about you, Peter, well, there's a number of things I find really strange about you, Peter, but what I find really strange about you, Peter, is you're in your 70s now, right? You're a man of the world. Yeah, you're a man of means, done everything you can. You live a very affluent lifestyle from what I see. And yet, after all these decades of worldly experience, you still haven't grown a pair of balls. You still don't have the courage just to talk man to man, one on one. You can't do it. Have you always been that way? If we were to look very carefully along your spine, is there a very wide yellow streak there that would indicate extreme cowardice? What is your problem, Peter? Because you see, I can do this, I can rap like this, no problem at all. What I prefer to do is rap like this with someone like you that's giving it back to me. And then we can sort out a few home truths. But what frustrates me is you won't do it, you can't do it. None of you in the accident group could ever think of doing that because you're all a bunch of hypocritical cowards. Now, if I'm going to repeat this one more time for you, Peter, if I've said anything that you think is illegal, please go ahead and send me a cease and desist letter, which you are welcome to do. I've given you permission. Law says if I give you permission to do that by email, you have my email address, then go ahead. Let's see the Peter Pennington cease and desist letter sent to Duncan Smith. If, on the other hand, Peter Pennington, you refuse to do that or you can't do that, I'll take that as confirmation that everything I've just said is absolutely legitimate and spot on. All in your court, Peter Pennington. You said the gloves are off. Let's see if you've got any fight in you. I think you don't. I think there's a very wide yellow streak down your back. I think you're a bleater, a whiner, and a little bummy chummy of luggy. And I think that's it. There's nothing more to you. I'll leave it there, although I could go on in a second video. I won't. Monday's Gossip Corner, featuring Peter Pennington. Sorry that it's a day late. It's Tuesday, I know, a lot happening. And there's an important video coming out tomorrow. Yeah, more on that maybe later. I think I'll do a second one tonight and then a biggish one tomorrow. Let's leave it there. Hasta luego, adios, hasta la vista, adios.